Hello, everybody, and welcome to Row 60, a Georgia football podcast. My name is Clark Gaines. Joining me today, as always, Adam Thornton.
Yes, sir.
And this is show number 39. Adam, it is officially Hate Week.
Clark, my favorite week out of the year is this week right here,
Really?
Clark. Yes, sir. Every bit of it. I mean, the anticipation, no matter what the records are going to Jacksonville. Bad Georgia football seasons, bad Florida seasons. I love this game. I talked about it last episode. This is it. This is enemy number one. Everything, every goal that you have in the season runs through Jacksonville, Florida, so it's time to ramp it up, and let's go. I cannot wait. And just the sea of red and black, man. Just the caravan going down the interstate, down Statesboro and all them places, going down 95, man. And is I-16, is that right? I-16, everybody going down through that way, man. Just the flags, magnets, college students going to St. Simon's and everything. It's just a tradition that is like none other than college football, Clark. And it's just something that excites me every year. And good Lord will, until the day that I die, something that I will associate myself with every single year.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
The mass exodus is about to happen.
The pilgrimage.
The pilgrimage. That's a good word,
The pilgrimage, Adam. The voyage down there. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Oh, man, yes. I always look forward to this game this week, too. You know, we always have our traditional spots. We go to Down Under in Amelia Island, stay there and have a good time, and always rent out the same condo. But I think everybody in the Bulldog Nation that travels this game has a lot of these traditions. You know, it's just a great week, a lot of fun. And we're ready to go. So, hey, right quick, before we get the show started, Adam, I want to make an announcement to everyone. We're going to have a call-in show.
Yes.
Friday.
Yes.
8 o'clock p.m. Adam, I'm fired up about it.
I love it, Clark. I hope a lot of people can tune in with us, and I hope a lot of people call. I don't want to hear myself talk. I want to hear other people talk and talk Georgia football to us. So everybody make the time to call and let us know what you're feeling about the rest of the season, about the Gators, and what you got planned for this weekend, man. So we're excited for that, Clark. We hadn't done one since the night before the Oregon game, and, hey, we saw how that game turned out.
Hey, that's true.
You know, maybe if come out there and have another performance like did against Oregon, we might have to have another couple ones on the slate for this season. A little spoiler alert, kind of what we got. Tease of weeks to come, what our plans are here at Row 60. So exciting times, Clark. Exciting times. We've talked about it. This is the meat of the schedule. This is where this team is going to be defined as this 4-game slate. Exciting.
Exciting indeed.
You know, this is where you're going to find out what you're about right here, Clark. Right. You know, you go out there, you man up, and you play some football, and you start it this Saturday, Jacksonville, Florida, against the Florida Gators, baby, and this is what it's all about. Yes. This is why we do what we do.
That's right.
This is why we do what we do right here, Clark.
I love it. I love
this right here, baby. This right here, baby. All right.
All right, so we have a lot to discuss. Obviously, Georgia didn't play this week, so we did have a bye week. Adam, what did you do this Saturday?
I have. I was going to work on my corral, my catch pen, as I told you, Clark, but that didn't work out. So I went to another auction in the morning for a couple hours, just browsing around, fellowshipped a little bit, and talked. Then I came back, and my dad and I, we worked on a smoker. I'm building a smoker, so hopefully have that ready in the next couple of weeks, and be able to smoke some butts or something. And a good day of doing that on Saturday while watching football in the back of the shop, man. Nothing better. That's living right there. How about you, Clark? What'd you do?
I shot a wedding. I filmed a wedding for Andrew Thomas. Shout out to him. He's a friend of the show.
Yeah.
Adam, congrats, man. Congrats. Yes. I found out about myself this year that I'm going to not continue. I'm not going to continue to film fall weddings unless it's on the bye week.
Well, I tell you what, Clark, in the southeastern parts of the United States, the bye week is a pivotal time. If you want a fall wedding, like if a girl dreamed of getting married in October, right? If your significant other dreamed to get married in October, it has to be during the Georgia football bye week.
Yes.
Has to be.
Yeah. Has
to be. Now, you'll get a contingent of folks. That's the opening day of rifle season here in Georgia for deer hunting. So you have that to contend with. So I say, the fall wedding is something that it's a little bit of a touchy subject to me. To me, it is. To me, it is. But you do it right. If you do it right and you want that fall wedding, you do it on the bye week. I've went to several fall weddings during bye weeks before in years past, and that's people who are doing it right, baby. So just know that Georgia football Saturdays are sacred. We need to do a whole nother podcast in itself on fall weddings.
I agree.
during game week. So I'm not a fall wedding advocate whatsoever. But if you're gonna do it on a bye week. So good on Andrew doing it then. Congrats on that.
Congrats. Man. And listen, Adam, I know we have some listeners outside the state of Georgia, in kind of the northern parts than the western parts, and where college football isn't as important, right? In different continents.
It's a lifestyle here, baby. But we might take it to the extreme just a little bit more than the average fan. And I understand that. I'm a weird guy, Clark. I'm a weird guy. I love Georgia football, and I'm not afraid to tell people how much I love Georgia football and sit up here and act like an idiot in front of this camera. But it is awesome, and especially when we're living in the glory days like we are right now, we're going to chirp about it.
Yes.
We're going to be excited about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've got a lot of chirping to do, Adam, about this upcoming Georgia-Florida game. I'm excited to hop into this right quick, though.
Yeah.
We're going to shout out Chuck Holland and the Franklin County Middle School Cubs for winning the region championship against Hart County.
Awesome. Hey, good defensive football, Clark. That's what I went to the game, went to the middle school football game. It's the first time I've been to a middle school game.
Were you there?
In a long time. I was there. Were you there?
I was there.
Oh, I'll be dang. I didn't know that. But yeah, we went to the game, and it's the first time seeing a middle school game. I hadn't been to a high school game in a long time, but went to a middle school game. And going from the pace of play from a college game, watching the Dawgs, down to a middle school was interesting and fun. And it was a good time. Franklin County is both of our hometowns for those who don't know. So we went to go support the middle school team, man, and good defensive football. And that's what I like is defensive football, Clark. None of this flashy offensive gimmickry stuff that you get on levels above. You know, I mean, whatever. I mean, the team that we'll be playing next week, it's all about that. I love defensive football, Clark. That's the way the Lord intended football to be played, is good discipline. Defense, baby.
Yeah. Wrap up.
Sir.
Tackle,
fundamental. Hey, because you know what, man? Hey, you know what? If they don't score, they can't win.
That's true. That is a good point.
There you go. That's it. That's it.
And hey, Hart County did not score the other night, did they?
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. So great job by them, man. Exciting. Good hometown shout out right there to those boys. Love it. Making our hometown proud. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Well, Hart County and Franklin County, that's a big rivalry game. But this game that we're about to go into, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
Yes, sir.
Is
still the world's largest outdoor
Yes, it is.
Party.
You're absolutely right. I think this is my favorite rivalry game.
You dang right, Clark. This right here is it means a lot to me. We've talked about it. The memories I have going down there, and all the Georgia people can talk about it. We grew up hearing stories about Lindsey Scott in 1980, and my mom was at that game sitting in the end zone that Lindsey was running towards, like she was trying to pull him just to get there, you know, and just the dominance that was in Jacksonville in the 70s and 80s that Georgia had, and it looks like Kirby Smart's bringing that back, Clark, but we felt so much pain throughout the 90s. A lot of fans who were around then felt it, and then in the early 2000s when we really were old enough getting into it, how tough it was, some heartbreakers down there, man. So every win, I think, because of the early 2000s and some of them games that were let get away in 2002 and 2003, 2005 went undefeated in there and lost. DJ Shockley was hurt, lost in 06, you know, and then some of them beatdowns that happened in 08, 09 made the era that we're living in now. And what we've seen in Jacksonville really starting in 2017, Kirby's second year on, and then the fluke in 20, I don't even count that, whatever, has just been a thing of just beauty. Yeah. And I don't know, Clark, right? Well, tell me I know we had an episode where we touched on a few games in the offseason, but a lot of people might not have heard that episode. Real quick, I want to hear, give me your favorite memories down there. And whatever the stadium's called now, it's been Alltel Stadium, Jacksonville Municipal Stadium, Everbank Stadium. I mean, it goes through a different name change. I don't have a clue. TIAA Bank Stadium. I mean, since we've been going down there the past 2 decades, man, it's been about 5 different names. I mean, they can't keep Jacksonville, God bless them, they can't keep a sponsor in that stadium right there. Which, I mean, who knows? I mean, are you really getting the bang for your buck? Because who's going to go see the Jaguars play and see that stadium, you know? So, but yeah.
So my favorite memory. There's a bunch of them, Adam, but I think one of my favorites would have been seeing that 2012 defense show up and play their hearts out. Yeah. They played a heck of a football game. Jarvis Jones at the very end, you know, stripping the ball and recovering it there in the end zone. Who recovered it? Do you remember?
I don't remember who covered it. Was it Bakari Rambo or Sean Williams or somebody like that? I don't know.
But man, that was just a great game in general. One of my all-time favorite Georgia football games. Adam, what about you? What's your favorite?
Well, talking about that 12 game real quick, Clark. Florida was ranked number 2 with Will Muschamp as the head coach, and Georgia was a top 10 team as well, I believe then. And 17-9 win, defensive football. Sean Williams called out the defense before that game, man, and they came out and played lights out. It was beautiful. Malcolm Mitchell took a little hitch route to the house. 17-9 win. That was good. I got many I could talk about, but one I think that flies under the radar that's personal to me, Clark, was the first time I saw them win down there after some heartbreaks going as a kid. It was 2004. 2004, that game with David Green and David Pollock's senior year, they lost some heartbreakers to that Florida team. That got some championship seasons derailed down there, and seeing them getting over the Florida hump in 04, winning that game 42-30. I got that was 07, 31-24. They're 31-24, and it was very, very good day there. I remember Fred Gibson called a touchdown pass across the middle on his fingertips. Great catch to seal the victory that day. But anytime you go down there, and that stadium, Clark, that environment where it's split 50-50, in the middle of the goalpost on the way back, you just get chills. And I get chills every time I go in that stadium. I don't care if I'm 8 years old now or 29 years old. I am still just act like a child when I'm there, because I get that same enthusiasm and that excitement that I was blessed to have going to those games growing up, man. And it's just the most unique environment in college football. I know you got it at Oklahoma and Texas as well, but this one is special to us, and it always will be, man. And I love the game in Jacksonville. I know that's a subject for another podcast, and Kirby's earned the right to get whatever he wants, but as a fan, how could you not like the experience down there? So everybody who is going down there, savor it, man. Savor it, because who knows how many more of them we get, but it is a truly just unique thing. And this whole week, the anticipation and the hype for it, and then especially, man, we talked about it, the goal is to go into Jacksonville undefeated, Clark. When you have an undefeated football team with championship aspirations going into Jacksonville, baby, let's go.
And then leaving undefeated too. That matters.
Is a huge feeling, man. We felt that for the first time in my lifetime in 17, Clark.
Right.
And that 17 season, I was very, very surprised that just the feeling that it was, that you had to pinch yourself like, we're leaving Jacksonville undefeated. And now under the Kirby Smart era, it's been something that's been just
you're just used to it.
Just used to it. So it is just a very, very, very gratifying feeling, Clark. Very gratifying.
Yeah, I agree with you, Adam. It is one of the most unique environments in college football. The neutral site game in Jacksonville is so much fun. If you've never been, this is your sign.
Right.
Go.
Right. Go.
Buy a ticket. Go. And look, you may have to sit on the Florida side if you want to go on a budget, but you can do that. Right. Because there will be a lot of Georgia fans at this game, Adam. Right. And it's typically 50-50, but I don't know. It may be a little closer to 60-40 this year. Could be.
It might. I mean, the spread of this game, Clark, it seems like it is the largest amount that it's ever been.
Really?
I think I read that correctly.
Do you want to? Well, here's the number. Yeah, it's 21-point favorite.
Woo, I love it, man. I love it.
That really may be the biggest of all time.
That's right. So, hey, got to go down there and take care of business, Clark. Should be a memorable game. I want a beat down like we haven't seen since 2017 was a good one. Let's see, in the early 80s, there was a couple times that we went out down there and took care of business, but it is always good to win first and foremost. But when you go down there and you put a just whooping on them, and it's halfway through the fourth quarter, and you get that aerial shot of the stadium, and the side that's blue and orange is completely empty, and then the other side's full of red and black. That's when you know it's a good day down there, man.
Oh yeah. And Adam, surely to goodness, we're going to have some victory cigars lined up, ready to go after we beat Florida this week. So let's talk about this game. This game, not any other game in this history. Georgia leads the series 44-2. So we got ahead of that number not too long ago.
It's amazing, Clark, that statistic, man, is how much they dominated from Spurrier's arrival in the late 80s all throughout the 90s and really the 2000s. And we've turned it around starting in 2011. We started to win more consistently then. But still to have that lead, man, is amazing. It shows the dominance that Vince Dooley, who, God bless him, prayers and thoughts to him as he's gone through some health stuff here the past month or two. How big of a just Gator killer that Vince Dooley was during his time at the University of Georgia, man.
I don't know if Mark Richt was ever a Gator killer, unfortunately, but Kirby Smart sure
you daggum right.
Hey,
man.
Adam, this is actually the 100th matchup of the series. Now, Georgia fans believe this is the 100th matchup.
Yes.
Florida fans say it's the 99th. They don't count I believe it's one of the first games played. They don't count that one because they weren't technically the University of Florida. But we're going to count it because we beat the mess out of them that game. And so the 100th matchup in this series. Once again, the Dogs open as a 21-point favorite over the Gators. Listen to this. This is a cool fact. In Kirby's 4 wins against Florida, he has won by an average of 24.5 points. That's crazy.
That's crazy. That is crazy, man. That is crazy, and that's exciting. That's something that we have wanted for so long and that we have got.
Yeah, that is true. Florida is 4-3 on the season. You know, they've had some closer games, I'd say, to LSU and Tennessee. Yeah. LSU pulled away pretty good towards the end of their game. Right. But no, they went into Tennessee and they played them close. And look, you got to throw everything out the window in this game. And you said that last week. The season is our record right now is 0-0. That's the way you got to approach this game.
Yes, sir.
Because there's some crazy things that have happened in this rivalry. Yep. You mentioned it earlier, 2002. Look, the Dogs were unbeaten and
top 5 team.
Yeah,
top 5 team.
And Florida was unranked. They came in, I think, 5-3 or
they
something
were ranked,
like that.
They were ranked 22nd. The only reason I remember that is I remember there was a T-shirt that had that matchup on it. And I don't know why, just funny things you remember back then, but Georgia was number 5, Florida was number 22.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, it was lopsided.
And first year head coach, right?
That particular year, yes, correct. Ron Zook's first year was there because Spurrier left after 0-1. So, everything lined up perfect. You had the Spurrier monkey off your back, and Georgia had a great football team. It was a night game. The last time that it was a night kickoff, past 3:30 or so, and it got wild then. Even as a 9-year-old kid, I realized that this place is insane. And I think what happened that night in the city of Jacksonville really has made it that it is not going to be a night game again. Yeah. So anyway, that's been 20 years ago this year. So losing that game, I remember Terrence Edwards dropped a ball, man. That a couple bad things that. The wrong breaks that go your way, and then you get some turnovers, costly turnovers, and teams like that could easily beat you. That was the year where David Pollock was returning a fumble when they did the lateral, and they called it a forward lateral. Yeah. I think it was Deshaun Jones. I forgot which DB it was, and returned for a touchdown. Which if there was instant review replay today, it would not have been called that. It was clearly behind him when he handed the ball off to the DB there. So I mean, stuff like that. If you don't get, you don't show up the bus, you don't play right, you could lose those games, man. And we're very capable. This Florida team is definitely capable of beating Georgia, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. This team's going to be dialed in, ready to go, man. You get a break from, had a week off, bye week. A lot of guys who's been banged up that we've talked about, getting more healthy, man. So it's exciting. It's exciting. I'm ready to see what we're going to see in Jacksonville. This team who's going to return, who's going to be healthy, where we're going to be at, what wrinkles that we put in during that bye week. So I think that's one big thing too, Clark. Let me note real quick is we've gotten destroyed the pass down there. Urban Meyer would always put a wrinkle in right before they played us that bye week because both teams usually traditionally get a bye now. For the longest time, Florida had a bye and we didn't, but they got that fixed, thank God, because that was bad, especially during that bad streak that we had down there. But Urban would put in some wrinkles. Like remember they did a little tight end shovel pass during Tebow's year, and always something they came out with, and that's something that I think you're going to look at. You're going to have to see with Florida making an offensive wrinkle to try to get some move the ball more or stuff. So we'll see.
Mullen in 2020, the wheel route.
Yeah. Oh my
God. I've never seen a Georgia coach, a Kirby Smart coach defense just not know what they're doing.
That just wasn't a good day, Clark. That just wasn't a good day, man. Wasn't a good day. Like I said, I call it a fluke. It was absolutely a fluke because every other year we have been dialed in down there, man. That's big wins in 17, McElwain's last year. 18 was Mullen, his first year. Big games in 18, 19 down there. And big wins, big physical games, Clark. Right. Physical games against those Florida teams that were really good on both sides of the football. And I think the big thing is, and to keep the Florida program where they're at right now, you got to keep beating them in Jacksonville, Clark, because so big for each program's success is who is dominating in Jacksonville. It usually shows whoever's dominating in Jacksonville has the higher trajectory program at that current time.
Well, and it's been this way for years. The winner of this game goes on to play in the SEC championship. I mean, it's been that way since what, 15 or
several years, man. Oh, absolutely. What? 15. And then Missouri won it 2 fluke years there. But besides that, South Carolina won the division in 2010. But outside of that, Tennessee hadn't done it since 07. But yes, you're exactly right. So I tell you, the only year I can remember Georgia ever going to the SEC championship and losing to Florida, well, 2 years, 02 and 05. Both those years they were able to do it, but ever since that, the times that we went to Atlanta in 2011, 2012, 2017, 18, 19, and then this previous year, 21, all have been Florida wins in Jacksonville. So you're exactly right. The East goes through Jacksonville, Florida, man, and it's just so big to set the tone for the back half of the season, and this is where you want to really see your football team start dialing in. You don't want them to peak too early, Clark. Right. You don't want to peak too early, but Jacksonville's about the time. What? Exactly.
What?
Yeah.
Did you say something?
Tell them, Carl. Hey, but this is the time that you want to see them start progressing and peaking, and you know what kind of football team you're going to have is when you leave Jacksonville, Florida. You can kind of get a taste and tell how the rest of the season is going to go, baby.
All right, Adam, let's talk a little bit about what our offense and our defense needs to do in order to win this game, just our team in general. Some of the keys to the game, if you will. I've got a bunch of stats. I went on NCAA.com or maybe it's org or whatever. And I just looked up team stats today. I got a little bored. So anyway, I got some great stats.
All right.
Let's start with this one. Florida ranks 131st, last place in FBS in third down defense. They give up a conversion. They give up 54% of conversions.
Wow. Third place. So third and Grantham lives on.
Third and Grantham lives on.
In Gainesville. Dang.
Which is awesome.
I tell you, man. Yeah, this is definitely should be a game where our offense shines. Our offense should shine in this football game.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. And look, you gotta believe that Monken has got a great game plan. Not only for this game, but for the games to come. You've got a lot of time to install these new packages, these new formations. And I want to be excited to see what we come out and do against this Billy Napier coach team. They do have a pretty good defensive front, I'd say.
Yeah.
I think their secondary is a little suspect, but we're going to see what this Georgia offense is made of this week.
We are, Clark. I'm excited about that. Maybe A.D. Mitchell comes back. Who knows? I hope so. I'd love to see what the offense is going to look like having him back again. Hasn't played a full game since Oregon. Got hurt the first offensive play from scrimmage against Sanford. So, when you get an elite, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think he's going to be a very elite receiver, a big playmaking receiver on the perimeter who could stretch the field like A.D. Mitchell that adds so much to an offense, man. So I'm excited to see that and see some guys just really who continue to play but were banged up. Not, Mir, you didn't hear about it, but you could just see it. You can see it with your own two eyes that's what where they were hurt, So that it's going to be exciting to see what wrinkles are there and whatnot, what younger guys get more playing time on both sides of the football, and I think we're going to see a lot of that Saturday. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Hey, we need to control the clock in this game, and I know that's kind of a given, and I say that every week. I feel like. But did you know this? Georgia ranks first in the nation above Navy and Air Force, those triple option teams, with an average of 35 minutes per game. We control the football. We control the pace of the game, baby. And that's a good stat, Adam.
Yep.
I love time of possession. That's I know that may be an overrated stat, but I love it.
I love it too, Clark. That's when you know you're dominating football games, Clark. That's when you know stuff is going your way and you're manhandling the other team, Clark. I think that is an indicator of it because you're doing what you want to do and you're imposing your will on those teams, Clark. So when you're doing that, when you're controlling the pace, the tempo of the game, and it's huge now in today's college football world, Clark.
Right.
Because, honestly, some of the way you play defense is how you play offense.
That's a good point. Yeah, that makes sense.
Does that make sense? I know that sounds stupid, but you get what I'm saying. When you have so many good offenses now, the way the game has evolved is how you can control the clock with your offense on the field and limiting possessions for those dynamic offenses, man, is how you control when you win football games. And some of these games that we have coming up and what you're going to see now where college football's got to. So,
Adam, did you see Brenton Cox? He said something along the lines of, "We're going to kill them puppies."
Oh, yeah, he just said that. He said that in
off season.
He said that in the offseason, man. Brenton Cox is a guy, Clark, that you're seeing some of these guys, the Otis Reeses, the Brenton Cox, that came in highly regarded 5-star athletes, right? Clark, 4 or 5-star, supposed to be some of the cream of the crop, right? So, and I remember at the time, like, dang, how do we lose these guys? But as time goes on, you see, Clark, that not only you have to be a talented football player, but you have to have the right attitude, man. Right. You have to be the right, you have to be the right shape to be a piece of the puzzle in this Georgia program, Clark. Yeah. And if you're not, hey, the train's going to run you over, baby. I mean, it's point blank, period. You have to be a certain way, a certain attitude, certain teammates, certain, work ethic that you got to put in to be the Georgia standard that is in Athens now. And Brenton Cox didn't have it, man. Brenton Cox is a guy who loafs on plays. I mean, talented guy, but I mean, Clark takes plays off, man. Yep. And I'm excited to see. I hope he is exposed again. He was last year in Jacksonville, and hope he is again this year, Clark. Well, hope he is again this year.
Yeah, and you think about like the Aiden Hutchinson situation last year. Yes. Even Will Anderson in the national championship game, they were non-factors, right? Big playmakers. I mean, otherwise, but I think Brenton Cox is. I mean, I think he's a playmaker for this Florida defense. I don't know if he's better than those guys or even to that level. But what I'm saying is, no. But what I'm saying is, I think we're going to take him out of this game.
I agree.
And I think they probably have his tweet somewhere, or maybe it was his Instagram story, whatever it was. They have it plastered on the weight room walls for our guys to see. They're not going to forget that.
No, they're not, Clark.
And ex-teammates,
that's exactly right, Clark. That's exactly right. On top of everything else they have to motivate them to go down there and show out. I'm excited to see. I hope we run the football good, Clark. I'm excited to see this offensive line, where we're at now with it, how we push that, like you said, that Florida front. Pretty respectable Florida front, you'd say. So, I mean, it'd be a good test to see how we move the football on the line of scrimmage as far as on the ground, man, and get some receivers back healthy and see what we do through there. And I just want to see some points get on the board. I'd love to see us really jump up early on them, man. Limit turnovers. How you lose these type of games, Clark, is you lose the turnover battle. Yeah. That's how you get beat by teams like Florida right now, where there is a talent gap. And it's hard to believe that it is, but there's a big talent gap between Georgia and Florida right now. And that just shows that Kirby's dominance in recruiting over the past 6-7 years, man. And just the deflation of the Florida program that Dan Mullen left in shambles. So you take advantage of that, Clark. You know what? When they're down, you stomp them in the ground even more. You put them in the dirt even more, Clark. You don't help them up. You put them down in the dirt even more.
That's right.
Dang right.
We don't like Florida.
When it's Florida, you just make it worse. And Billy Napier, hey, his first time down in Jacksonville for the cocktail party, Clark, what you do is you give him the proper welcome to this rivalry, baby. You let him know what he's going to have to face every year and what everybody's telling him in games. Well, all those high-class boosters in games are going to say, hey, you got to beat Georgia. To get to the next level, you got to beat Georgia. And he has to know that's going to be like climbing a mountain to get over the top to beat Georgia, man. Yeah. And what this dynasty that has been created in Athens, Georgia is, and that's what you establish. That's what this game means. It's not only just another step, which is the biggest thing, to the main goal of this season, which first and foremost right now is to win the SEC East. And you got to do that in Jacksonville, Clark. You cannot, I don't care if Georgia was right now 3-4, Clark. If they were 3-4, you got to be ready to play in Jacksonville, baby. It means that much every single year, Clark.
Oh, yeah.
Especially now when you're 7-0, baby.
Mm-hmm. And you think about it. Georgia is, historically speaking, the best program in the state of Georgia. Florida, I don't know, maybe some would argue this. I'd say Florida is the most dominant. Is that
I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, I mean, honestly, all of Miami maybe started their run in the early 80s. But what's funny about it is all of those Florida programs really does not have a great football history until the 90s. And, I mean, all three of them were powerhouses in the 90s, man. And that was tough on coaches, Jim Donnan and then Rick starting off. But really, Jim Donnan, God bless him, had to go through a powerhouse Tennessee. You had Florida State absolutely just destroying the ACC. Miami, as good as they were in the Big East back then, man. And, this whole sector. And then Alabama still had that traditional name. It was tough. It was tough back then. But I don't know. I would say, Miami really I think they won their first one in the early 80s with Howard Schnellenberger, I believe. So, hey, I don't know, man. They're all pretty equal, but right now it's funny, they all go in phases, it seems like. It seems like they're all about the same. That's not one program down there can just step up and take advantage of the other two being down. If they're all three up, they're all three up. If they're all three down, they're all three down. I guess Florida took advantage of it during the Tebow years, but traditionally speaking, it is crazy. It's crazy.
Well, it's two of I would say, the biggest pools of talent the two states with the most talent. Now, some would argue Texas and some would argue California. And maybe, I mean, some years better than others. But
here in the Southeast,
I mean, this is premier talent.
That's right.
And two really fun teams matching up in a great
It
game.
is. It's just such a good rivalry, man. And people just I love Jacksonville. I just love the tradition of going to Amelia Island. Some people go to Jackal and St. Simon. Some go down to Ponte Vedra. You know, so I mean, it's just it means so much to the Georgia people, and that's why I always hope it stays in Jacksonville because of that.
Yeah.
You know,
we got to hope Kirby understands our side of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The way it's looking right now is it's not.
But hey, Kirby's earned, like I said earlier, Kirby's earned to get whatever Kirby wants.
But think about how cool it would be to play Florida at home.
Oh, it would be cool, man. It would be cool. It would be cool. It would be cool. I agree with that. From a football perspective, absolutely. I get it. I get hosting recruits in Athens and how big that is, and I understand that. I'm just talking from a selfish fan perspective of being able to just do what we have traditionally done over the past 2 decades.
I wouldn't want to go home and away. I know we've talked about this, and we're beating a dead horse, but can we please petition to have a home game in Athens and then switch over to an away game in Gainesville, and then come back to Atlanta in the Benz, and then go to Jacksonville?
Yeah, hey, rotate. I don't care, man. I don't care. We could play them at the local high school, man, wherever. As long as there's a flat field that's marked out, painted for 100 yards, baby. I don't care where we tee it up against Florida. I just want to see a Georgia win.
Yes,
that's all I care about, baby. It don't matter when, where, wherever. Name it. Georgia will be there, and Georgia will whoop up on Florida, baby.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to try to stay calm this episode.
No, Adam, I'm
going to try to stay calm this episode.
You're doing great.
You need to tone it down a little bit. I got a little bit off the rails and unhinged last week, man. So I'm going to have to try to keep it, but it's just too exciting of a time.
I know. It's great. It's
too exciting of a time. And that's what we do, is just get fired up for the Dogs, man. That's what our what's
mantra.
The word I'm looking
mantra.
For? Heck of a word. That's what our mantra is,
I don't know if that's the right
folks.
context, but
that's what our mantra is.
All right, let's go to the other side of the football. Georgia's defense.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we've got to make Florida one-dimensional, and we have got to dare Anthony Richardson to throw. Hey, you know why, Adam?
Why is that, Cole?
Because the kid has 7 picks this year.
7 picks.
And he has only
kidding me?
6 touchdown passes.
7 picks and 6.
Thrown,
I love it. Hey, I'd love another replay. What happened those last 2 minutes in the first half last year? That was the most fun 2 minutes of football. I lost my mind when the Kobe picked that ball off and took it back. I just stuff came out of me. I don't know. It was awesome, man. So like you said, Clark, rattle him, man. Keep him contained. The only way they're going to have a move the ball, I think, efficiently on this Georgia defense is going to be if he is able to break loose and make some plays with his legs, because I don't think he's going to be capable of doing it with his arm, as you've alluded to, Clark. But hey, he's a talented guy, and doing that. And Clark, I don't know. I mean, a lot of national media and pundits, I like where Georgia's at, Clark, because even though Georgia's the number 1 team in the nation right now in the AP poll and the coaches poll, you don't hear, these national media shows. You don't hear a lot of Georgia talk right now. And if you do hear Georgia talk, it's basically what I'm hearing, Clark, is they're vulnerable and they're not better. They're not as good as they were last year, which is, it's true. Georgia's not as good as they were last year. And then the key is too, they don't have a pass rush, Clark. Right. They don't have a pass rush, man. So Nolan Smith, they're singling guys out like this. Robert Bill, Nolan Smith, all these guys, man, is I would love to see us get Anthony Richardson, the quarterback, man, and get better in that narrative. But hey, Clark, as long as you're containing them, man, and you're not letting people just kill you with their legs, these mobile quarterbacks that we faced all year, and especially with these guys whose offenses are getting rid of the football quick outside on the perimeter, little screen passes and stuff like that. It's hard to really eat and feast on a quarterback, I feel like, Clark. But what's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on the pass rush right now, and what everybody, the guys with the hair gel and the suit and ties who make 7 figures per year are talking about?
I'll listen to what Kirby has to say, and he said essentially,
there we go.
He said what you were just alluding to. The teams we've played this year really do try to get the ball out.
Yeah, they do.
As quick as possible.
Yeah.
I can't snap.
I like it.
But that's true. You think about it, you watch the film. Either teams are running the ball against us or trying to, or they're trying to get the ball out as quickly as possible. That's right. And that's just the bottom line. And furthermore, we're only rushing 3 or 4 guys at any given time. We rarely have blitzed this year. We really haven't had to.
No.
And look, you also don't have Jalen Carter. And I think Jalen Carter is your best pass rusher as a nose guard.
Yeah, absolutely. The penetration he gets inside that defensive line, Clark, and the havoc that is caused by him. You're exactly right, man. And it's something I think is going to continue. I think you just made a great point, Clark. I think we have ran a very base defense.
Yeah.
Very vanilla in a sense. Not really, just playing good disciplined defense is what I would call it, Clark. And we haven't run any of these just fancy blitz packages or anything quite yet. And hey, I trust, if there's anybody I trust, it's Kirby Smart, Glenn Schumann, and Will Muschamp to dial up a good defensive plan against anybody, man. But this particular game, Clark, I feel like you're gonna first you stop the run game. You stop Travis Etienne.
Trevor.
No. Who was the guy? Who was the ETN at Clemson?
Travis.
So yes. Trevor ETN. Okay, yeah. So, you stop their running game, man, and then you contain Anthony Richardson, and you make Anthony Richardson beat you with his arm. And I think when you do that, you're going to make him, and especially if the offense keeps doing what they're going to do, putting up points on the board. Then I feel like Anthony Richardson's going to feel like, hey, I'm going to have to make a play. I'm going to have to do something. And when you're doing that, and you're playing your assignments, and you're keeping him contained, and he feels more and more pressure to make something happen, is when some mistakes can be made that he's been prone to do, and you get some easy turnovers, and heck, you might even get some that are going the other way on some defensive touchdowns, some defensive scores, or at least you're getting the ball back and you're winning that turnover margin, man. And that's how you win football games in the Southeastern Conference, Clark.
Yeah.
And it's like we alluded to, man. The great Art Russell said it. He said it. If they don't score, they don't win.
That's right.
Period.
Yes.
So, that's what it's got to be. That's what it's got to be. I really expect this defense to feast, man. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game for Florida, and I think we can cover it, Clark. I think we can cover it. I like it how it sets up. If Georgia goes out and does what they're supposed to do, it's going to be a historic day in Jacksonville for a Georgia Bulldog fan, man.
Right.
You can never get enough of going down there, and I mean putting it on them, smoking them, Clark.
Yes.
I mean, going down there and winning, like I said, sweet. But when you go down there and you beat them to the tune of 45-7, that's when it's glorious. That's when you're flying back to Athens. You're just riding on a cloud back to Athens, man.
Oh man, yes. We've got to stop Anthony Richardson with his legs, especially. I think they're going to really draw up some zone read stuff with him and try to get it up the middle. I think if you look at Georgia this year defensively, that's kind of been our Achilles heel. Thankfully, we haven't gone up against a ton of good mobile quarterbacks, but the next four quarterbacks we face, Adam, Anthony Richardson, Hendon Hooker, Will Rogers, Will Levis.
Yeah, good test, man.
That's a really good test.
That's a stout lineup. That's some talented quarterbacks. Good test. I love it, baby.
Yes.
I love it.
So good practice round, if you will. And I'm going to give Anthony Richardson a little credit. He is fast. He is very physical when he gets the football in his hands. So, we've got to stop him.
He is a quarterback, Clark, who can beat you.
Yeah.
He can beat you, but he's a quarterback that if you do the right things on the defense side of the football and stuff doesn't go his way, it can unravel for that Florida offense in a hurry. And it's something that we saw in Jacksonville last year, and we've seen from him before here so far this season. So I expect that obviously Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann, Muschamp, they know what to dial up and do to get him, to contain him, man. And I really think we're going to see some turnovers. I think we're going to see a couple picks. I think we're going to see a Georgia defense come out there with their hair on fire. And I think Florida's going to have a hard time moving the football.
Yeah.
I really do. I think Billy Napier, we'll see. We'll see how he does in Florida. But, it's a lineup that's very depleted for him, a roster that's very depleted. And this is a year that you go down there and you put it on them. You do what you're supposed to do. You beat Georgia, and where they're at, both of these programs are right now is, the gap's just substantial. Substantial. And you make it look like that. What it is, what the program is on the field, it needs to show. It needs to show Saturday.
Yeah.
How big that gap is.
And this is a big recruiting game, too. I mean, you think about it. There's a lot of the same guys that are interested in Georgia are interested in Florida, and vice versa. So this is a good a good way to premiere, show off your talent, where you stand in this conference.
The more you separate yourselves from that program that Kirby has done since his time here at Georgia, that these guys at Georgia are getting, Florida's not even in the ballpark with now, Clark. That's where we're getting to right now. That is where we're getting to with this Georgia football team, baby. And you just keep your foot on their throat.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Keep your foot on their throat, man.
Yeah. I do think in the coming years, Florida will pose more of a threat. I do think Billy Napier is on the right track. But for right now, I agree, Adam. Now's the time to take advantage and to assert your dominance. Yes.
Dang right. Let them know.
Hey, one thing we also have to do, our secondary, Adam. And we've done a good job of this this year, but especially the next 2 weeks. We cannot get lulled to sleep by the run and then the play action pass. They are going to, I guarantee you, they'll throw a couple of bombs, play action. They'll fake it to Montreal, what's his name? Johnson and Trevor Etienne. They're going to do that a time or two. But our guys have got to stay disciplined. Do not keep your eyes in the backfield. Backpedal, head on a swivel.
Head on a swivel. That's right. That's right. Don't let anything get behind you.
Exactly.
Third level, Clark. That's what's demoralizing, especially when you are stopping an offense. The offense is not moving the ball on your defense, and that's just how the tone of the game is. Is when they could get something on a gimmick, something behind the third level, and strike quick like that. That hurts. That demoralizes, especially when you're dominating the game. But hey, like you said, Clark, that's exactly right. Just play discipline in the secondary, man, and I think we're going to be all right. I really do. Hey, if our old friend Dan Mullen, Clark, he's no longer with us in this rivalry game. He's not going to be there. I would guarantee you, I would bet $100 if he was there that they would open up the game with a flea flicker.
Yeah. I can see that.
Dan loved doing that.
He did.
Sure I don't think he ever connected on one down there. I think he always held a grudge from that 17 Mississippi State game when Jake Fromm hit Terry Godwin. But I don't know. I know one time Felipe Franks had a guy.
Yes,
wide first open. Play, I was that 18?
Yeah.
Wide open. I mean, wide open. Overthrew him by like 15 yards. Like 10 yards. But, he was wide open. I think Mullen did it again.
I think he may have.
Year or something.
20, I think they hit one.
I don't know, but he loved the flea flickering against the Dogs. I think he was just bound determined to do it to Kirby after what Kirby did to him in Mississippi State in 17.
Yeah. Hey, one more note about Florida and their offense. Hey, their line is pretty good. Their offensive line is pretty solid. They're up there with the fewest sacks allowed.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they control the line of scrimmage.
I love that you bring numbers to the table, Clark. You bring us some factual information to the table. I like that because I didn't know that. I didn't know. I haven't watched much Florida football this year.
You're not going to win games on papers. Let me make that clear.
Exactly.
Stats don't really matter.
You got to do it on the field, baby.
But stats do. The numbers don't lie. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So,
that is true. That's what they say. I think there was a TV show about that on ESPN one time. Numbers don't lie.
Oh, is that really?
No. I think it was Film Don't Lie.
Adam, let's go off a little bit on a tangent here. What's your favorite sports show?
A sports show?
Yeah.
I
mean, this is like MLB. This is
like you talking
anything.
about anything. It was the old Sports Century back in the day on ESPN Classic, like the biography.
Yeah.
I love that and the opening theme music to it.
Okay.
But a Sports Center back in the day. Now let me rephrase that. Back in the day, I'm talking early 2000s. I mean, to me, it's dead now, but that's a different topic for another day that we're definitely not getting into on this show. But back in the day, Sports Center was really good, really good.
I liked Baseball Tonight. I think is what it was. But that was also back in the day.
Classic stuff.
I'd watch that every single night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's enough about this Georgia-Florida game for right now. We're going to revisit this in a little bit with a score prediction and any final thoughts.
Yeah.
But, hey, let's take a look back at this past week. We had a couple of pretty good games, Adam.
All right. Yeah, we did.
Starting off with Syracuse at Clemson.
Ooh,
Clemson won 27-21. But, Adam, you were close. You were close.
This close, Clark.
Yep.
Clark, I'm going to make a statement. Georgia broke DJ Uyunglele. Do you remember leading into last season how, honestly, we were a little bit nervous? Because with the two times that he started where we played in Notre Dame and against Boston College in 2020, in the COVID year for them, when Lawrence was hurt, he looked good. And a lot of Clemson people, Clark, were saying that this kid is going to be better than Lawrence and Deshaun Watson. And he looked that he was on par to be the next great one with them in when his time that year in 2020. But then Charlotte, North Carolina happened that Labor Day weekend in 2021. I don't care what they say, Clark. That defense broke him. He has not been the same quarterback. He looked 10 times better in 2020. And I mean, yes, I'm a Georgia homer. I understand that, but I don't think that's a far out there take.
I think where he messed up was he got on those Dr. Pepper commercials.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He got focused on them commercials, got the big head. That's right. But I mean, I think he is a great guy, sure enough. Yeah. But no, he's a guy I think that's going to lose you some football games. Holds on to the football too long, Clark. Has some devastating turnovers that, I mean, they rebounded from. But the K. Klubnik kid from Texas, I think will be the next good quarterback there, man. But Dabo said after the game that DJ's our quarterback. So I guess they're just going to roll with DJ until they get in trouble again and then put Cade in to come save, but it was like deep in the season. Well, it was about a quarter of the way through the season in 2018 when they put in Trevor Lawrence over Kelly Bryant. But it just doesn't seem like it's the same situation here. It seems like Dabo is bound determined to trot out DJ Uyunglele there.
It almost sounds like a Jake Fromm, Justin Fields situation. I don't know though. That's a little bit of hot take.
Yeah. Well,
touchy.
Yeah, that's touchy something too soon.
Yeah,
too soon on that. But yeah,
let's give it a few more years.
Yeah, we're good right now.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I think Clemson, Clark, is a team that honestly, of course, you want them to lose every time they play, but I think they can limp into the playoff with just barely getting by that schedule, man. And I pray every night we all just need to pray that Georgia's the 1 seed and they're the 4 seed in the Peach Bowl. Because right now, Clark, Georgia would beat Clemson by 3 touchdowns.
I'm saying
that. I really do truly believe that. This Clemson team isn't anywhere close to these other playoff teams that they've had during Dabo's tenure there, man. I mean, it is just the product of a just terrible schedule. I think they have truly not really facing teams with pulses, and I mean, heck, I don't think that who has a pulse that they played.
I mean,
who has a pulse?
Some people would argue NC State, maybe. I'm just saying what other people would say.
No, they don't have it. I'm telling you. If they get the playoffs, hopefully it's against Georgia because I want that bad. I mean, beating Dabo Swinney by 3 touchdowns in a playoff game right now, the jubilation it gives me thinking about it's just off the charts. But I don't care, even if it's not Georgia, they're going to get exposed in the playoffs, man. Like what used to happen in Ohio State every year, or Notre Dame, or whoever, Big Ten, Michigan State, whoever slipped into the playoffs there. Clemson will be that this year.
Wow.
Clemson will be that this year if they make it.
Yeah.
So we will see. But hey, it was an entertaining game. And you know what, though? I mean, when you have a culture, and I will say this, let me pat them on the back. When you have a culture like they do, you find ways to win games. And that's what they did. So,
I mean, Dabo,
beat the Orange.
I don't like him. I'm sure he's a great man. But, I mean, he has built a good culture there, I will say.
He needs to update his work, man. He's got that 2003 sweatshirt with like the generic sweatshirt.
No, I kind of like that. I hate the Clemson version of that, but if it's
I can't wear a sweatshirt like that without the pockets and the hood on.
Okay,
but fair. It looks like, I mean, it was literally what coaches were wearing on the sidelines in like 2002 when Mark Richt would wear it. Like that was the style in 2002. I mean, it's okay. It's okay, but not on Dabo. Okay. This looks like that's fair. I don't know.
Well, I mean, orange is a very ugly color.
It is.
God,
it is.
So ugly.
It is.
I mean, could you imagine replacing all of our red and black with orange?
I don't. No,
purple or blue.
It is just atrocious, man. I'm just glad the good Lord had the good guys be in red and black.
Yeah.
Well, the good football team guys in red and black.
Yes. Oh,
yes.
To clarify. Because there have been some bad guys in red and black before.
Yeah. Well,
hey, this. I did call. You about called one. I did call this one.
You did get
LSU ended up. I did not think it was going to be this kind of a game. Ole Miss got beat by LSU 45-20.
Yeah, man.
Good on Brian Kelly.
I'm telling you, I'll be honest with you. I thought Brian Kelly would go about 8-4 this year. And I thought it would be a bad culture fit in Baton Rouge. I'll be the first to admit I'm eating Kroger on that. It looks like they're kind of, it's going to be interesting. Next time that team plays will be against Alabama in Baton Rouge. Both of them get a bye week this upcoming week. And then November 5th is going to be that game part. So that's going to be an interesting football game. I'm telling you, that game right there is going to be very interesting. LSU seems like they're kind of putting it together. Down 17-3, those guys go on a 42-3 scoring run in Baton Rouge, man, and put it on them. So, hey, if they win out, Clark, they're the West champions.
That's true.
They've only lost one SEC game, and that was a beat down to Tennessee a few weeks ago. So, if they beat Alabama, man, they got a good shot to run the table. To run the table right there the rest of the way, and they would be the ones that hopefully us, and I feel confident saying us, that we will beat them again that first Saturday in December. in Atlanta for a rematch of the 19 SEC championship.
Well, and then you think about it this way too. Ole Miss is technically.
Oh yeah, well, Ole Miss, they will need Alabama to beat LSU. Right. But then if Alabama beats LSU, then they play the next week, and Ole Miss is in the driver's seat. If they keep winning, if Ole Miss keeps winning. So, there's going to be some wild times in the way. The next few weeks in Southeastern Conference football is going to be huge.
Yeah.
It's going to tell a lot. We're going to tell a lot, Clark.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, nationwide, there's only 6 undefeated teams now.
And we're one of them.
We're one of them. That's where you want to be at, man. And I like Georgia's chances against anybody in those 6 teams. So we're going to find out here soon. One of them, Georgia's going to get to play in Athens, of course. But that's for a different podcast coming up. But yeah, that's good. That's good.
UCLA at Oregon, 45-30. Oregon wins. Adam, I tell you, this Georgia. This Georgia victory over Oregon is starting to look better and better.
Oh, yeah, it does, man. Yeah, it does. It looks like they're the most complete team in the Pac-12, Clark.
Yeah.
I feel like they have a very good shot at winning out and possibly winning that conference. And then you're like, well, they got boat raced by Georgia, but that was week 1, and you got a 1-loss Pac-12 conference champion. I don't think it'll be good enough to get in the playoff this year. But to go to the Rose Bowl for Dan Lanning and win the conference would be huge. Would be huge. And that's what I'm pulling for in year 1 for that to happen. They look good. Bo Nix looked good, Clark. He looked good when I watched a little bit of that game Saturday. So great for Dan Lanning, man. That's exciting. And like you said, Clark, just makes our strength of schedule just go up even more. And then also what happened in Columbia, South Carolina. South Carolina's a 2-loss football team, Clark.
People need to stop
after a 48-point
on Shane Beamer.
That game, that cracked me up. It cracked me up. Texas A&M, South Carolina was not on our list, but of course, as many people know, South Carolina beat them, and they're looking like they're overachieving for what everybody thought they would be too. So,
oh man,
it'd be interesting to see what happens there.
Could you imagine being a Texas A&M fan?
Oh, it would be terrible, man. And then you look. Oh, we got to get rid of Jimbo Fisher. And then just the gut punch it would be to look at his buyout each year, like till 2031. How much they'd have to pay them if they fire them at a certain time. I mean, Jimbo's got it made. He's just going to stay there and make millions, or get fired and make millions, man. But hey, that Texas oil money. They might. I think he will, of course, get next year. But I think if he goes 8-4 next year, well, he won't even go 8-4 this year. But if he follows this season up with 8-4 season next year, gone. Doesn't matter what it is, gone. But I love that. I love it.
Let's see. Speaking of the West, Mississippi State at Alabama, 30-6, Bama beatdown, as you called it.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as what I thought, Clark.
Yeah.
I really kind of thought that their offense would look a little bit better. I mean, they didn't really have much yardage in the game. Didn't Mississippi State have more yards than them? I don't know. I don't know total yards. I think they might have by like 2 or 3 yards. I don't know. I could be far-fetched with that. But, 30-6, anytime you win a game against a conference opponent like that is good. Hey, Mississippi State, Clark, on a couple game skid right now where they really hadn't looked that great on the offensive side of the football, is making me feel better and better about that trip to Starkville that I honestly have been talking up is getting a little nervous about because you're playing 2 big emotional games leading up to that. Then it'll probably be a night game in Starkville. It's still going to be tough. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you can't take what happened in 1 week and then what's going to happen the next week in a different setting, environment, and everything. But, hey, Clark, I don't know, man. I don't know. It makes me, each week that Mississippi State's playing ball, it makes me feel more and more confident and better about that game. I know people are like, why are you crazy being, worried about Mississippi State? But nah. I just don't. Where it sets up in the schedule over there at their place is what makes me nervous about it. But I don't know, man. If they can't get offense going, especially against this Georgia defense, but hey, that's a long way off. That's a long way off. But
we got 2 more episodes between that.
That's right.
Or I guess 1. Anyway. Kansas State at TCU. TCU ended up winning 38-28.
Yeah, man.
Go you Horned Frogs.
I tell you what, man, TCU's playing good ball in year 1 under Sonny Dykes. They find a way to win. They come back and they play good ball. I don't know, Clark. Maybe people should start talking about where does TCU Horned Frogs fit in as an undefeated Big 12 champion. Do they slide in that playoff? The playoff picture is going to get very interesting. Very interesting.
Adam, I have a really hot take, but it's going to come up in just a minute about TCU.
All right, because I tell you what, Clark, when you think about it, you're going to have, you got the Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia pile up in the SEC. I fully expect Michigan and Ohio State to both be undefeated going into that last week of the season there. And then if you get a one-loss Pac-12 champion, if you get an undefeated Big 12 champion, you get undefeated Clemson ACC champion, man, there's not enough spots for that.
That's true.
There's not enough spots for that. And you could argue that one of the one-loss champions who might not even go to, one of the one-loss teams that don't even go to their conference championships would probably beat some of these undefeated ACC Big 12 championship teams. And, I mean, in this playoff committee, you're putting the best in there. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah. Last week's game of the week, North Central Cardinals at Washington, Missouri Bears. Adam, you called a beatdown and you got it. Cardinals win 31-0.
Love that, man.
And you get your burger.
The Goose Egg, get a burger. Man, that is great. So they went on the road and put it on them. Shutout on the road. You go on the road and you pitch a shutout, baby. That's what football's all about.
And not only just go on the road and pitch a shutout, you do it on family and parent weekend. That's demoralizing.
Yeah. I mean, that is big. They went in there and they let them know who is the more dominant program, and that is the North Central Cardinals. I hope that the people over there in Washington, Missouri, that they got to enjoy their play that they got to attend and their tour of the city. So, but football didn't go their way. So awesome.
No. Oh, man. Okay.
Chippy the Cardinal.
Cardinal, yes. Oh, my goodness.
Love it.
All right, this week's pick 'em. Number 2, Ohio State at number 13, Penn State, 12 o'clock, Fox.
Ooh.
Adam, this is going to be a good game. I mean, I wish it were a night game. I'd love to be able to watch.
Yeah, the happy
But what do you think about this one?
Clark, I remember last year when we got back from the Georgia-Florida game, that Penn State-Ohio State game was a little bit closer there towards the end in Columbus, right? I tell you, I don't know, Clark. Ohio State's offense, Iowa might be one of the worst teams in the FBS. Definitely the worst offense in the FBS.
Yes.
So you really couldn't take that away about Ohio State on the defense side of the football. Iowa gave them just freebies, but really Iowa's defense limited Ohio State in the first half in Columbus. Oh, by the way, Ohio State is playing 8 home games and 4 road games, Clark.
Are you serious?
8 home games and 4 road games.
How do you even?
I don't know, but it is there. It is there. I'm pretty sure I've seen that. So
wow.
Ohio State definitely is a complete football team on the offensive side of the football. They are good, but I think the jury's still out, Clark. And I think that Ohio State will win this game close in Happy Valley. But I think it will be a 4-quarter ball game.
Adam, Ohio State seems to be one of those teams, too, that the media is not really talking about or hyping up. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't hear much chatter about them.
Some people do say they're the number 1 team in the nation right now. Some people do. But I don't know, man. I feel like we don't have a really true test of how, especially how many games, and definitely not away from Columbus.
Yeah.
So this will be the biggest test of the season. But Penn State just got smoked in the big house by Michigan a couple weeks ago.
Right.
I think it's setting up where, a little premature with this, that Michigan could be the ones doing it. I don't know.
Hey,
I don't know. We'll see. But as far as this game goes, Clark, Ohio State by about 10, maybe 14, pulling away in the 4th quarter.
All right. I'll stick with you there. Ohio State wins by about 14 or so.
Yeah.
All right, number 7, TCU. I hate to keep bringing this up, but they're playing at West Virginia, 12 o'clock ESPN, Morgantown, Adam.
Oh, JT
and here's my hot take. Ready for this?
No, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it?
Give me JT Daniels and the West Virginia Mountaineers.
Clark.
Somehow, miraculously, taking down the Horned Frogs.
You talk about that is by definition what a hot take would be. Right
it's hot.
Because I think West Virginia could possibly be the worst team in the Big 12.
Maybe so.
So I will not be picking the West Virginia Mountaineers with you. I love the pick. I love the confidence in JT Daniels and Neil Brown and them guys. But TCU wins on the road in West Virginia, Clark.
Oh, boy.
At noon.
Yeah, I'll definitely be eating crow for that one. Hey, maybe not. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, this is a good sneaky game you got. Look at the Big 12 producing some good product.
Hey, finally. Number 9, Oklahoma State at number 22, Kansas State, 3:30 Fox. Kansas State got beat last week.
Yeah, they did. They TCU blew a lead to TCU, man. Demoralizing. A little bit demoralizing. That's what you want to know out of a football team. Where's the character at?
Right.
Are they going to rise from getting knocked down like that, or are they going to stay laid down? Or are they going to stay laid down?
So what do you think's going to happen?
I think they're going to stay laid down. I think Oklahoma State is going to go into Manhattan, Kansas, and beat them.
All right.
I do.
I'll stick with Mike Gundy. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
I got to be honest.
Why not?
I get bored of picking Oklahoma State and Kansas State and TCU and Baylor and all these Big 12 teams. I just don't watch them as much.
No, you don't get to see them as much on the old Fox there. But anyway, but you know, I mean, they're playing some ball over there. I guess they're playing some ball. So. Yeah. All
right, here's an SEC matchup: Missouri at number 25, South Carolina.
What kind of slate do we have, Clark, that Missouri and South Carolina is on the pick'em?
Adam,
the Battle of Columbia.
The fact that, the Battle of Columbia. Yeah. The fact that South Carolina is ranked under Shane.
They are. They slipped in at 25. Overachieving over
there. He deserves Shane Beamer.
Did he cry in the post-game interview? I didn't get to see it. I was watching some bottles, baby bottles.
But,
did he cry?
No, he picked up his little girl and hugged his wife, picked her up, and that's cute. But we still just act like you've been there before.
But I mean, why I said that is I wanted to know if he broke his consecutive game win streak. I don't care who it's against. I don't care if it's against South Carolina State, Texas A&M, whoever. That he gets emotional during the game, and I'm not talking about emotional. Let's go, getting fired up, fist pump, like a crying. Yeah. And I'm all for gratitude and being thankful for where we're at and our blessings in life. Don't get me wrong. I am all for that. I think that's how we should live and how we should be, is being humble and being thankful for everything that the good Lord provides us with every single day. But getting on the national news card or the national sports news and crying after a regular season win every single time, man, I don't know how that looks. But that's good to know that he has got to the point in his head coaching career that he doesn't shed a happy tear after a big win. But hey, so this game right here, who you going with, Clark?
Oh man, this is tough. But hey, give me Shane Beamer ball in Columbia, the real Columbia.
With the Cox.
Yes, I'm going to go with the Gamecocks.
Give me Eli Drinkwitz and the Missouri Tigers going into Columbia. They're riding high. Hey, Shane Beamer and them boys are still going to be riding high after their first ever win over 3-4 Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher. But Columbia's still going to be partying from that. Yeah. And the Tigers got a big 17-14 win over Vanderbilt.
Yes.
Big win over Vanderbilt. So when you get big wins over Vanderbilt, 3-point wins over Vanderbilt, you know what you do? You go on the road in the SEC the next week and you beat somebody else.
Yeah.
So, give me Missouri winning that game, Clark. I know that's crazy, but I really do kind of think they might sneak up on South Carolina. They're feeling good on the last 2 games. South Carolina has kind of bowing their chest out, and the Alpha Nerd's going to come in there with the game plan, and maybe that team that played Georgia will show up. I don't know. That still just shows how crazy football is, man. I know. Shows how crazy football is, but
I tell you what, Adam, I may have to stream this game as the Georgia-Florida game's going on.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't want to miss that? It's going to be some good quality football there.
Oh, geez.
Oh, me.
All right, our last game of this week, Kentucky, number 19, Kentucky at number 3, Tennessee, 7 o'clock ESPN. This is going to be a lot better game than people think, Adam.
Oh, you think so?
I really do.
Well, give me your pick then. Tell me what you think.
Tennessee's still going to win it, but I do think it's going to be a more physical game than even the Alabama game. I know that may be a hot take, but
more physical.
I'm talking on the defense. Yeah. I'm talking about.
We're not talking about putting points on the board,
right.
And we're not talking about just the glitz and the glamour of offense driving down the field and score. We're talking about good physical, man football.
And I tell you what, these two teams,
grown man football.
Yes, these two teams hate each other.
They do.
They actually do. I don't think people realize that.
I agree. You're all right.
In the college football realm, these two teams hate each other.
They do, Clark.
And it's going to be maybe even a chippy game. And I hope it's really chippy.
Oh, I do too, Clark.
I want Kentucky to go in there and
agitate them a little bit. Poke the bear a little bit, Clark. That's right. Get some guys and lose their composure and get suspended for a ball game. I
love it. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? But hey, even if they don't, who cares? Who needs them? Bring back Cedric Tillman. Let Hendon Hooker be 100%. I don't care because Georgia will beat them anyway. That's for another time. Hey, all right, Clark. I think Tennessee will win this football game. I think Kentucky. Well, the key for Kentucky to win this game, Clark, is they would have to control the pace of the game, right? That their offense would have to develop some long possessions, keep the ball a lot, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you would think Kentucky don't have the offensive line for that, Clark. The offensive line is pitiful. I do not think they are going to be able to move the line consistently enough to, like we talked about, against some of these offenses, playing good defenses by how you play offense and limited touches for the opposing team. But I don't think Kentucky has the capability with this offensive line. Chris Rodriguez is a hard runner. Maybe I'll eat crow on that, Clark, but I like Tennessee to win this game up on Rocky Top and prepare for a epic showdown in Athens, which I think, Clark, I'm going to make this bold take right now. I'm going to go ahead and say it because by the time the next podcast after this one will be out, it will already be known. But I predict, Clark, that Georgia will beat Florida probably. And, well, I don't want to spoil my pick, but it's safe to say we think Georgia's going to beat Florida. I think Tennessee will beat Kentucky. And, Clark, I think that traditionally, the Tuesday night after the Georgia-Florida game is when we get the unveiling of the first college football playoff rankings, correct?
Yes.
So I do believe at that point in time, Clark, the committee will be putting the Tennessee Volunteers ranked number 1. Ooh. And I think Tennessee will be coming into Athens ranked number 1. I actually hope that happens. Yeah. And I think that's how it's going to set up, man. I think that's how it's set up for a monstrous matchup in Athens. But I think that's how what things are going to. I could be wrong on that, but I just kind of got a gut feeling. No reason why that I think that, we'll be number 1 in the AP, and I kind of like that. That's what I kind of want to happen. But I think, if they, and especially if they go beat Kentucky pretty good, it might happen.
Let's assume Tennessee wins this week. Let's assume Georgia wins this week. Will this be, we're getting way ahead of ourselves. Will this be the biggest matchup in Sanford Stadium history?
Yes, it'll be 1 versus 2, Clark.
Yeah,
I really truly think because you're going to go off. You go off the playoff. You go off the playoff rankings, the committee's rankings. That week is the first week you do that. So that's what it'll be. That's what it'll be. So.
We still got another week before that one.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, last but not least, game of the week. We got a great matchup here. Baby. Utica University Pioneers.
Whoa. Start over with that.
Okay. Game of the week.
I want to know the name of the university. That was interesting what you just said.
What?
The first.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right, give it to us, baby.
We got the Utica University.
Utica.
Yeah, Utica. Okay. University Pioneers at SUNY. I'm going to say sunny. Morrisville, 12 o'clock in New York.
New York. New York, baby. College football in the Big Apple.
Yes. The home of Rich Beck.
That's it.
Shout out to Rich Beck.
Shout out to our loyal fan. Love him, Rich Beck. Okay, give us some facts about Unica because I'm very intrigued.
No. Not Unica. Utica. With a T.
Okay, Utica.
I heard an N.
Unica. Yeah, I thought I said Unica. Okay, but it's
Utica.
Or Utica.
No, it's Utica.
It is Utica. As Siri, have you hit the pronunciation?
I promise you.
Said it back to you. Or do you know, how do you, no. How do we know that?
I know that because I've watched The Office a ton of times, and somebody from The Office, the TV show The Office, is from Utica.
Okay.
Who? Oh, the Utica branch, yes.
There's a branch.
Dunder Mifflin, the paper company. Anyway.
I really haven't watched The Office, so I wouldn't know that. But, okay, Utica. I'm glad.
You got to watch The Office at some point in your life.
Hey, all right, well, I'm glad you know that, Clark. Okay. So, Utica.
Yes, Utica.
All right, give us some facts about Utica.
All right, here we go. The Utica, the Pioneers, they're a private university in New York.
Yep.
In November of 2007, the Utica University football team set an NCAA football record for 2 teams' highest combined score of 142 points in their 72-70 loss to Hartwick in 4 overtimes.
Dang.
So they played in the game with the highest combined score ever in college football.
Wow. Isn't that crazy? 2007. That is crazy, especially in 2007, man. That's really before a lot of the spread up-tempo offense came to fruition in the league, man. So that's pretty impressive.
That game had a higher score than the Patrick Mahomes Baker Mayfield game or the LSU A&M game not too long ago. That went 7 overtime
in College Station. Wow. Right? Good fact.
That is a basketball score, too.
I like that.
Let's see. Notable alum. His name is Andy Rubin. He's the founder of Android Inc.
Okay.
Adam, are you an Android or Apple guy?
I guess I'm an Apple guy. I got an iPhone, man. I really couldn't tell you what an Android looked like, if I'm being honest. I really don't know what an Android looks like.
It's it's certainly the inferior phone.
Okay.
Sorry for all the Android users out there. But anyway, their mascot is Trax. Trax, Trax, the Pioneer Moose. You ready for him, Adam?
Oh, they're moose?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Their mascot is a moose.
Let's see him.
And he looks like the guy from Wally World.
He does look like the guy from Wally World.
What's Wally World?
Looks like, are they a big hockey school?
Oh, yeah, they're definitely, yes.
Well, you know we're talking about Northeastern football when their mascot is wearing a hockey jersey instead of a football jersey. So, that's strong. I love that mascot. Love the snout on them.
Yeah.
Good snout. Good antlers. A lot of mass on that antler right there.
Yeah.
A lot of mass on that antler. Big moose.
Big Moose. He looks like Marty the Moose from Vacation. Old Clark Griswold punching him square in the nose. I love that. That's my God.
That's a good one. I like him. I get an A+ on that mascot.
There's Trax, the Pioneer Moose. And Adam, Utica is 6-1 on the season. So pretty good record.
All right,
they're
good. Playing good ball. Playing good ball. I like that.
All right, let's go to SUNY, Sunny Morrisville, public school located southeast of Syracuse. Sunny Morrisville was one of the first campuses to hold a license to grow industrial hemp for grain and fiber research applications.
That's getting big in the medical field now, man. You get some hemp in you, it relaxes you, I guess. And
I was about to say that.
I get, I haven't indulged in any hemp yet, but from what I hear is that the medical world is getting into it. I think some people are actually starting to become hemp farmers and getting very serious about their hemp harvest and everything. So So that's great. That's good. That's good.
Good on them.
A lot of people are going to the hemp, man. I mean, there's some people who really love that stuff.
Interesting.
And I think, a lot of people who might have some anxiety stuff going on, man, get some hemp to soothe and calm them a little bit with some things going on in their lives. And I think I heard that.
Oh, man. Oh, goodness.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Hey, Morrisville, Sunny Morrisville, they, for whatever reason, are obsessed with horses. Okay. Right? So
is that up there near, is it the Preakness? Is that where they're at? Like, in the Preakness, a race in New York, horse race in New York?
Possibly.
I could be wrong. That might be in Kentucky for all I know.
I think that may be in Kentucky.
Anyway,
the reason why they're so obsessed with horses, or some of the reasons why, since 2010, Morrisville has also become home to the laboratory that tests race horses for illegal performance-enhancing drugs.
Interesting. It might be the Belmont. That's what I'm thinking about.
Belmont.
The Belmont. Okay, but anyway. Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Sunny Morrisville Aquatic Science and Aquaculture Program houses a breeding colony of seahorses and is currently working on experiments that address seahorse health and conservation.
Awesome. That is awesome. I love that. That's good.
They love some horses, Adam.
That's good. That's good.
And their mascot is Mo the Mustang.
Mo the Mustang. Let's see Mo the Ooh. Dang. What's up with the green? Are those supposed to be like
I think those
blinders? Like a racehorse?
I think those are
on
lightning
the wrong
bolts.
side. Okay, they're on the wrong side of their eyes with a lightning bolt. So it honestly looks like a horse from an Indian tribe that's like painted like war paint on them. I think that's what I would go with. That's the only thing I could come across with a horse having lightning bolts.
Yeah.
Neon green. What do you call that? Neon green lightning bolts coming between the eyes.
He's even got green eyes too. I mean, that's
that's intimidating. I like it. I like it. Unique Morrisville Mustang.
Do you like
Mustang
the Mohawk? Not the Mohawk,
colors.
the mane.
The mane, the green mane. Yeah, I mean, it's just unique. I like it. I like it. Right. I think they could have done better with a shirt that just is a generic white shirt that has Morrisville on it. I think they could have made that a little bit more flashy, especially with how creative they were on the headgear, the headwear with the green. I do think they should be like in this particular photo of this horse right here, Clark. You have 3 different shades of green. The pants are a dark green, a forest green. Then you got the neon lightning bolt green, and then you got the Kelly green for the mane right there. And I just don't know if they all blend together, Clark. And then I think there needs to be better with
their stadium in the background looks like a forest green.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, they need to. Too much there's too much. Like, some of these other teams that have too many shades of orange in their color. So exactly. So a good mascot though. I like it. Unique. So good for them.
Sunny Morrisville's record on the season is 6-1.
Also, so good football being played in these games of the week, late season here.
I wonder if Rich Beckett will go to this one.
Hey, he should. Yeah.
All right. Who are you taking, Adam?
Clark, give me the Utica.
Yeah.
Give me the Utica. Give me the Utica program up there. What is that? The Moose.
Pioneers.
The Pioneers.
Okay.
The Moose. Give me the Moose, baby, to just stomp all over the Mustangs, man. 43-22.
Oh, my goodness. Adam, yes, I'm going with the Moose, too.
Yes.
Give me Trax, the Pioneer Moose.
Love that, baby.
We're on a pilgrimage to go see a moose.
Stomp them, baby.
Yes.
They're going to do one of these go to these numbers right there, and they're just going to just smoke them.
Yes.
I feel good about it. Like it.
Oh, man. All right. Georgia versus Florida, 3:30 CBS.
Woo!
Oh, man, I love this football game, Adam. I'm excited about going back down to Jacksonville, spending time with friends and family. It's always a great time. Adam, give me the Dawgs 35-13.
Yes, sir,
a very reasonable score. I think we're going to put up enough points to obviously win this football game and then some. So give me the Dawgs, and I can't wait.
I can't wait, Clark. This is it. This is where it starts right here, man. Bye week's over. Resting time's over. It's time to get amped up. Big 4-game slate starting in Jacksonville. The most important of them all is beating Florida. Yes. Channel your inner Florida hate this week, people. Hey, I'm telling you what, if you see anybody in blue and orange, you let them know how horrible their football program is. Let them know how much you hate Steve Spurrier. Let them know how much you hate Tim Tebow. Let them know how much you hate Albert the Gator and Mrs. Albert the Gator. And all those people, yes, and everybody down in Gainesville, Florida. You let them know this series has turned, and it is not going to go back to the other side of the bad guys anytime soon, baby. Georgia's going to dominate this football game to get the trains rolling for a huge end of the season, baby. Staying undefeated, #1 team of the nation going into Jacksonville. Going to be the #1 team leaving Jacksonville, baby. Georgia wins 45-10. Everybody be safe going down there to Jackal Island and St. Simon's and Amelia Island and anywhere else you're going down there. It's the best week of the year. Get fired up. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Ooh, 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 ooh.